The city of Las Vegas. Spider-Man No Way Home. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as an actor. A New Year's Eve party. These are all things that I've listed that are highly overrated. But today, we're going to be talking about the most overrated UFC fighters. So I, Tony's Died, will be going through the top 10 most overrated UFC fighters. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit, and let's get straight into it. Starting with the first entry into this list, which is Iangary Cejudo.
You want to bend the knee at what time? Because I think you absolutely suck.
Dude, every time I see this fucking guy, people are always talking about him as one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time, bro. I look at this fucking midget, listen guys, listen, I'm the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. I really am. You know, that's how Iangary Cejudo fucking talks. And he is not, bro. He is not one of the greatest fucking combat sport athletes of all time. Now listen, him winning an Olympic medal, highly impressive, bro. We look at his actual UFC title fights. His first fight with Demetrius Johnson was a robbery. You know, it was a very close fight, but it was very clear that the UFC simply wanted DJ gone, and Cejudo was the answer to doing that. Cejudo did not beat Demetrius Johnson. Then, his next title defense was against TJ Dillashaw, who decides to move down, but ends up making himself one of the most, like a fucking skeleton cut into 125. He literally looks like a fucking, he looks like you ever played Dark Souls 3, how you get hollowed? That's how he fucking looked, bro. He looked like a fucking nutsack at 125, Dillashaw did. And so he knocks out TJ Dillashaw, but it was literally a weight drain version of him, and it was a very like weird stoppage. Then he moves up a weight class. Yeah, he fights Marlon Moraes for the 135 belt. Beats Marlon Moraes, yeah. But Marlon Moraes did not go on, and he did not win a single fight after losing to Cejudo. Even the Aldo fight against Moraes versus Aldo was a robbery. So Moraes didn't win a single fight after losing to Cejudo. So how good of a win was that really if you never won after? It's still decent, but like at the same time, like it's not something that elevates your legacy to be the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. I don't fucking think so. And then finally, he had his fight against Dominic Cruz. You know the fucking saying with Dominic Cruz and Keith Peterson, they have beef because he said he was smelling like cigarettes and shit. This is why, because Cejudo drops Cruz and it's an early stoppage, very early stoppage, and then he retires. So then he retires in his prime, thinks he's fucking Khabib, thinks he's fucking Michael Jordan or some shit. Retires in his prime. This fucker decides to come back because he thought he could manipulate the UFC out of money. Loses to Aljo, loses to Merab, loses to Song Yadong, and hopefully he'll lose to somebody else next soon. But I just fucking hate this guy because he talks like he's one of these goats, bro. He's not even a top 5 bantamweight, bro. I think Merab, Aljo, Cruz, Dillashaw, and O'Malley all have better legacies than this fucking guy at the 135 weight class. And at 125, he lost to Benavidez. He lost to Mighty Mouse. I think this guy is probably one of the most overrated fighters of all time, bro. I really do, man. I don't think he's that good, man. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Number 2 on this list, Mateusz Gamrot. Okay, bro, when people talk about Mateusz Gamrot, they talk about this fucking guy like he's gonna be a fucking title contender. I don't know what fights y'all have watched to think that Mateusz Gamrot will ever have a chance of holding a title. Yeah, the reason I think Gamrot's pretty overrated is because he's on a pretty, his win streak that he's on is like a fluke streak. You know what I mean? So let me tell you what happened with Gamrot. Loses to Arman Tsarukyan, but he gets given the decision. Very close fight, but I do think that Arman won that fight on damage. He loses to Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush has not won a fight since that moment. Goes on and loses to Beneil Dariush. Then he fights Jalen Turner, has a very competitive fight with Jalen Turner, goes to a split decision with him, could have gone either way, but at the end of the day, going to a split decision with Jalen Turner is a bad look. Look what's happened to Jalen Turner since then. You know what I mean? Knocked out by Moicano, submitted by Bahamondes. Then he has a fight with Fiziev. Fiziev steps on his foot and breaks it. Then he fights against a fucking 43-year-old RDA. RDA drops him in the first round, and then Mateusz Gamrot clearly wins the rest of the fight. And then he loses to Dan Hooker, another split decision. But once again, going to a split decision with Dan Hooker is a really weird look, especially 2024 Dan Hooker. This guy could arguably be he would have been on a 4-fight losing streak, beating RDA, and then lost to Hooker. So he could be like 5-1 in his last 5-6 fights. You know what I mean? So I really don't think Gamrot's all that. This is going to be, I don't really think this is a hot take anymore. I think most people that know the sport kind of realize that Anderson Silva is overrated. Yes, he has the most title defenses. Yes, he went on a 16-fight win streak. Dude, he got a fucking UFC shot in his first fight, bro. He got a title shot in his first fight. Fought a bunch of fucking cans, fat boys, you know what I mean? Never ask an Anderson Silva fan to name his top 5 wins, because they fucking can, bro. Anderson Silva is very, very overrated. You know, anytime you go into a comment section talking about the GOATs, you know, you always got some casual being like, John Jones, Mighty Mouse, GSP, gotta throw in Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's not in the fucking conversation, man. He's really just not in the conversation. Yes, his win streak was highly impressive. Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. Next person we have to talk about. Do not let the TikTok fans see this, bro. I see, anytime I go into a fucking TikTok comment section, it's always talking about Zabit. Fucking Zabit, man. You don't know what would have happened if Zabit never retired. Yes, I know exactly what would have happened if Zabit never retired. This guy lost the 3rd round to Calvin Kattar, and he lost the 3rd round for every single fucking fight. He had no cardio. He has all those fancy moves. Did not know how to manage his cardio. I'm telling you, Brian Ortega would beat Zabit. Yair Rodriguez would beat Zabit. Just think about what Ilya, Max, or Volk would do to Zabit, bro. Yes, this dude had some crazy submissions. Had some very unorthodox striking. He's a fun guy to watch. I'm not going to hate on him. Like, he's a fun guy to watch. Like, his fights are entertaining, bro. But, like, talking about this guy like he's fucking the greatest fighter ever to just step away from the sport, simply not true, bro. He lost every 3rd round. Basically begged for a 5-round fight. Basically begged for a 3-round main event. This guy, super, super overrated, I think. I don't think he's that good, bro. Zabit Randleman, send him to Randlestan, you know? Yeah, I just don't think Zabit's all that. He could do some cool spinning moves, but that's about it. The next person I want to talk about, I think this is number 5. Number 5 on this list, TJ Dillashaw. I'm not going to talk about the steroids because I think everybody's on steroids. I think the steroid for Dillashaw situation gets completely overblown. But if you look at his actual record, he beat Renan Barão, right? Super impressive. But you look at Renan Barão's record, who did he really beat? A bunch of fucking cans, bro. Renan Barão, he may have been on a crazy win streak when Dillashaw beat him, but he didn't fight anybody impressive up until that point. That's a good win, though. Renan Barão. He beat him twice. And then he beat Cody Garbrandt twice. That is his only fucking 2 wins, is Cody Garbrandt and Renan Barão. Yes, bro. Renan Barão is very good. Cody Garbrandt, 25 minutes. No, shut the fuck up. TJ Dillashaw is overrated. I hate to say it. He lost to the best people he fought. He lost to Cejudo. He lost to Sterling. He lost to Cruz. He lost to fucking Rafael Sunsao split decision. Could have gone either way. But he did rob Corey Sandhagen. I don't think he beat Corey Sandhagen. I really don't think he beat Corey Sandhagen. Corey fucked him up, you know. I just think TJ Dillashaw is overrated, bro. Like, and he got dropped by Garbrandt as well. And Garbrandt didn't do shit after he lost. Like, he beat Cruz. Yeah, 3-2. He beat Cruz, right? Then he fights Dillashaw, drops Dillashaw, right? Garbrandt didn't do anything after he lost to Dillashaw at all. So he has one win over Cruz, and it was an off night for Cruz. And that's what made that's what made Garbrandt good. And that's TJ's best win is Garbrandt. His best win is Garbrandt. He won the title off of Garbrandt, man. That's not fucking good, bro. Plus the fucking suspension. I know I wasn't going to talk about it, but he got the fucking steroid suspension. I really just think that overall, TJ Dillashaw is highly overrated. He has a lot of good, he has a lot of quantity wins, but his quality wins, not too many of them, bro. Thick and thin, lost to everybody. That was good, bro. Next person I want to talk about. I see people talking about Iangary like he's going to be a future champion, bro. Listen, Tony has died. I'm going to be the champion. I'm going to beat JDM. No, you're fucking not, dude. You're not going to beat any of these fucking guys, you fucking little bitch. You're a fucking vegan soy boy. Iangary's overrated, all right? So his best win, number 13, Carlos Prates. Now, I will give you this. Carlos Prates was undefeated in the UFC. But you look at who did the most damage in that fight. By the scoring rules of MMA, Carlos Prates won. Iangary won that fight by the rules. But who fucked up who? Who barely survived that fucking fight? It wasn't Carlos Prates, it was Iangary. Then you look at the Jeff Neal fight. Split decision. Could have gone either way. Jeff Neal is not a crazy fucking person to have on your resume. I mean, it's a decent gatekeeper win, bro. He could have lost. Let's be real. The activity from Iangary in that fight was not impressive. Look at the Neil Magny fight, bro. He fucked up Neil Magny, but he didn't finish him. Neil Magny has been finished by every single person he's fought since Iangary. And then finally, you look at the MVP fight. I really think MVP won that fight. If we score on damage, Iangary held MVP down. He didn't do shit with it, bro. He didn't do shit with the fucking takedowns, bro. MVP, when it was on the feet, fucked him up, did more damage. And then we look at the Shavkat fight. He didn't do anything in that fight either except get a takedown, bro. You got one takedown on Shavkat. You lost to Shavkat. Debatably lost to Jeff Neal. You debatably lost the MVP. Close to losing to Prates. Next one we got. I've seen people saying that Paddy Pimblett could beat Dustin Poirier, could beat Arman Tsarukyan, could beat Charles Oliveira. We need to calm our fucking tits, dude. We need to calm. Listen, lad. I'm one of the best fighters in the UFC, mate. Listen, Tony has died. I'm not overrated. You fucking sausage. Yes, you are, bro. You're overrated as shit, dude. You beat Michael Chandler, who's like... Listen, Michael Chandler was a good win before he took the layoff for Conor. But after he came back, no success in the Oliveira fight. And no success in the Paddy fight whatsoever. That's his best win is Michael Chandler, bro. This dude lost to Jared Gordon, all right? And he beat Bobby Green. And that's it. He lost to Jared Gordon. He beat Bobby Green. And he beat washed fucking 38-year-old Michael Chandler. 39-year-old Michael Chandler. Paddy Pimblett is overrated, bro. People are talking about this guy like he's going to be yes, he will be a fucking top lightweight. But there's no way he beats one of the fucking people at the top of lightweight. I really don't think so, man. He'll get a title shot off a hype, bro. But I don't think he'll win that title fight. I'm not going to lie. All right? I think the UFC is just giving him Dana White privilege a lot. I like Paddy as a fighter. I like him as a person. He has really good grappling, but he's fucking just keeps his head on a fucking silver platter for anybody that has decent striking. So, and if you have a jab, you'll beat Paddy Pimblett, bro. That's all I'll say. Let's talk about the next person on this list, which is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, listen. Khabib was very, very good. Probably, unlike Zabit, Khabib is probably the greatest what-if of all time. But when we talk about this guy, I see people throwing him up there with his top 5 fighters of all time. This dude doesn't even have a better legacy than fucking Islam, bro. His fucking little bro. Islam has surpassed this guy as the lightweight GOAT. And I think he's neck and neck with Charles Oliveira in terms of fucking resume and legacy. And I honestly think that Dustin Poirier probably has better wins than this guy. I'm not saying that Dustin's a better fighter than Khabib all time. Clearly Khabib is better. But I'm saying if we just compare legacy, like resume versus resume, I think Dustin's right up there with him, bro. So let's talk about this, all right? Khabib beat Conor McGregor, all right? He beat Dustin Poirier. He beat Justin Gaethje, and he beat RDA. Those are 4 really good wins. But I'll ask this. Who hasn't beat RDA? Who hasn't beat Justin Gaethje, right? Dustin Poirier, great win. Conor, great win. But that was the Conor coming off of the Floyd Mayweather fiasco. Not the same karate stance Conor that fought. So, Khabib is very overrated. You look past those 4 wins, right after that, it's fucking dog shit, bro. It's fucking the Gleason Tabal, Michael Johnson. It's fucking Edson Barboza. That's a mid-win. I see people talk about this guy like he's a top 5 fighter. He's top 20, top 15, but he's not top 5, top 3. Some people say, no, I don't think anyone calls him the GOAT anymore, but number 2 on this list, I got Rafael Fiziev, bruh. Listen, I like Fiziev. He's entertaining. He has fun fights. But when people talk about Rafael Fiziev, they talk about him like he's going to be the next generation of killers. He's going to be has the best striking in the UFC. He's a fucking marauder. He's got crazy knockout power. When was the last time this guy knocked someone out, bro? When was the last time this guy finished someone? Where is this guy's impressive win? All right? That's what I'm asking. Listen, this guy's record is 12-4. He's fought 16 times and he's lost 4 of those times. He's lost 1/4. Every time he's fought, there's a 1/4 chance of him losing, bro. So look, he beat Bobby Green, but listen, Bobby Green could have won that fight. I'm not crazy for saying that. Bobby Green could have beaten Rafael Fiziev. That's how meh I think Rafael Fiziev is, bro. And then he beat Renato Moicano. That's impressive. And he beat old-ass RDA. Besides that, he lost to Gaethje, and he lost to Gaethje again. Super inactive. This guy just isn't crazy, bro. This guy is fucking overrated in my opinion. I think if he loses again, he shouldn't even be ranked, bro. That's how overrated I think Fiziev is. Do I think he could bounce back? Yeah. Being 0-2 to Gaethje is crazy. I'm not I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so yeah. I think Rafael Fiziev is highly overrated. And let's move on to probably the most controversial take on this list. Listen, man, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not in the CIA. I'm not a fucking crazy person. BJ Penn. You hear Joe Rogan and the old heads talk about BJ Penn. They'll put him... Dude, I saw Joe Rogan talk about BJ Penn as the greatest lightweight of all time. Dude, this guy's got a win over Sean Shirk. Who the fuck is that, bro? You cannot call this guy the greatest lightweight of all time if his best win at lightweight is Sean Shirk. He beat Matt Hughes, but Matt Hughes beat him twice. He lost to GSP twice. He lost to Yair Rodgers. He lost to fucking everyone. This guy has a fucking almost negative record, bro. Like, I get it. He went on a bad decline at the end of his career. You go on the decline, you gotta give it up. That still has to count at some capacity. Like, you can't just say the decline didn't count at all. Yes, it fucking did, bro. The first couple losses into the decline counted, alright? Like, we talk about this guy's legacy. He doesn't even have anything longer than a 5-fight win streak. So the best win streak he put together was 4 in a row, right? Like, holy shit. You're a fucking god in human armor, bro. Like, dude, this guy lost to fucking everybody he fought, bro. He has a draw to Kyle Uno. Who the fuck is Kyle Uno? He has a majority decision loss to Jens Pulver. We look at his wins. He beat Matt Serra, okay? He beat Dean Thomas, the fucking guy who pops up on commentary. Holy shit, he beat Dean Thomas. What the fuck? Dude, dude. I sound like a fucking madman, bro. BJ Penn is overrated as fucking shit, bro. This guy is not one of the greatest fighters. I think if prime for prime, this guy fought Arman Sarukian, he would lose. If he prime for prime, Charles Oliveira loses. Prime for prime, Dustin Poirier, he loses. Dude, prime for prime, Eddie Alvarez beats this fucking guy, dude. I don't even give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Dude, prime for prime, Benson Henderson beats him, bro. Everybody beats BJ, bro. He's not good. I hate to say it, bro. He's not that good of a fighter, bro. I've seen this guy get knocked out so many times, bro. Back in the day, man, back when BJ was fucking 8-4, he was the GOAT, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that shit. But yeah, bro, BJ Penn, he's not that good in my opinion. That'll do it for the list. If you like the video, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments who you disagree with that I said was overrated. Yeah, that's it for the list. Like, subscribe. Thank you so much, and take it easy. Peace.